from a $30 jersey worn by an MLB playing dog to an MLB Legends jersey that took off in a rocket to outer space. MLB players wore all kinds of jerseys of different prices, all the way up to a super rare $30 million jersey. So we're only gonna get more expensive as we move on. Now, a dog wearing a Dodgers jersey? That is not what I expected to see on an MLB field. But Ohtani got his boy Decoy a custom jersey to wear while becoming the first ever dog to throw out a first pitch. An MLB jersey wearing dog that got Decoy turned into book covers and exclusive Yu-Gi-Oh cards. All cause Ohtani let him wear a jersey that cost $30. But a more expensive jersey of Ohtani's actually had Dodgers fans beefing with Kim Kardashian. Now, alright, when I think of Kim K, usually I'm trying to be like Ohtani in this clip. But when it came to Dodgers fans, even though they'd already seen her in Dodgers jerseys plenty of times and didn't mind, it was different when the MLB reposted her showing off her new special edition Ohtani jersey. It was the Tokyo Collection jersey that was painted by a famous artist and limited to only 26 in the world, which at first seemed dope. But fans claimed that she'd curse Ohtani if she wore that, clowned her past, told her to never come around the Dodgers or Ohtani, called her all kinds of ridiculous names. I mean, someone even said subscribe to HitFlix, as you should do too. But regardless, because of that much beef, even though the jersey cost over $500, she never wore it and went back to wearing all other athletes she doesn't know anything about's jerseys instead. Now, something you'll never see again is what Trevor Story did in his jersey, which made it worth 8 times as much. To literally start this man's MLB career, he hit not 1, not 2, not even 3, but 4 home runs in his first 4 games ever. That never happened before. So cause this jersey of his seemed like it gave him superpowers or something, someone eventually bought it for over $12,000. 12 bands for a basic white jersey with some pinstripes? That's honestly nothing compared to the MLB player that had a $30 million jersey, a $400,000 MLB Legends jersey that took off in a rocket to space, a $1 million player's jersey that not only got turned into a piece of cardboard, it almost made a little kid faint.
Guys, I can't breathe.
And so much more later in this video. But before we get to those, I never, ever thought another player's jersey would become expensive just cause it involves some crazy jewelry. Rollies like those are sexy, just like the ones I got. Ooh. And those pieces had something to do with Luis Severino, all cause he wore the number 40 on his jersey while becoming a star throughout his entire career. Once Luis signed with the A's, he came in for his very first press conference already somehow wearing a number 40 jersey and a Rolex, which made no sense because a young player already on the A's named Mitch Spence already wore the number up to that point. Apparently, Mitch immediately gave away his number for free since Luis always wore it. But just 2 days later, a watch showed up at Spence's locker with a thank you letter. The piece was a 2-tone Rolex GMT that didn't just look good on his wrist, it was a $20,000 gift, which now made Luis's number 40 jersey cost him that much. Now, alright, a jersey Rolly combo? That's definitely wild, but not as expensive as another MLB Legends jersey that got put on a famous TV show. See, Baldy and his team run Pawn Stars, a show that buys some of the craziest and most expensive items in the world. So there was absolutely no way they were about to pass up a jersey that came from one of the most legendary MLB players ever. Willie Mays literally had one of the greatest careers in baseball history while rocking his iconic Giants jersey. And if you ever used him in the show like me, you know exactly how good he used to be. Now, being amazing in games is exactly why years later someone wanted to see how much they could get for one of Willie's legendary jerseys that he actually wore.
You're bringing me in something here that's amazing. The home runs this guy could have hit in this uniform, the bases he stole, game-winning catches, all kinds of stuff. I mean, the jersey feels authentic. I have no way of telling for sure that it's real.
Just because it was in your family doesn't make it real.
Guys call me down to the pawn shop anytime a piece of sports memorabilia comes in that they have some questions about. This is 100% authentic jersey that Willie Mays was issued.
Great, good to hear.
Yeah, and once they heard the jersey was completely legit, the store bought it for how much?
$31,000, call it a day. Sounds good. All right.
Wait, $31,000 for that? I would have rather just spent a few grand more on Aaron Judge's jersey that was inspired by a movie. All right. To me, Benchwarmers is the baseball movie GOAT, but Judge's jersey was inspired by many other people's favorite baseball movie called Field of Dreams. The field from the movie was so iconic that the MLB created a small stadium just like it for a Yankee game, where Aaron Judge didn't just come out with his squad while unveiling throwback-style jerseys inspired by the movie too. Jerseys like that must have thrown him back to the Royd era and gave him power to hit a deep home run right into the cornfield. Now, alright, as corny as that was, Judge's one-of-a-kind poop-stain looking jersey was eventually photo-matched bid on and sold to a fan for over $33,000. Hold on a sec. Let's walk over to my Lambo real quick. I just need to check what time it is. Okay. All right, exactly. It's time to completely level up in price for Juan Soto's jersey that literally cost him a car. That's only possible because 22 is the number that he's worn with every single MLB team that he's been a part of. So when he joined the Mets and found out that Brett Beatty already wore 22, Soto not only reached out about getting the number, he contacted sources that eventually told him Beatty wanted a black-on-black SUV for it, and Soto bought him this. Now, a blacked-out Chevy is some ass. I would've asked Soto for a McLaren, Porsche, or to upgrade my Lambo, man. But when dude got surprised with his new SUV, he loved everything about it, including the bow on top with the special message on back.
Appreciate it. Thank you for the offer, I really appreciate it. Yeah, it's the first one I ever wear, so I give you something nice, something nice. So you go, this is definitely really nice.
Because of that, Soto immediately got to wear the jersey with his favorite number during games, even though it cost him a $92,000 car. But hold up, it's crazy that I'm driving better than MLB players? Doesn't that deserve you to subscribe to the channel or something, man? Subscribe! But anyways, Shohei Ohtani has a more expensive jersey, all because he made MLB history as an all-star. No player ever had done what Ohtani was about to do in his one-of-a-kind all-star jersey. Because up to that point, even though there were not 1, not 50, not even 75, but 90 all-star games in history, and players have always been selected as either a batter or a pitcher, Ohtani became the first player ever with the ability to do both. Then he came out in a jersey nobody's ever even seen him in before. Man's wore it during a few at-bats, then while dominating some of the best players in the world as a pitcher. And Ohtani being the first player to ever do that made his jersey so rare that after he got the win, the jersey he eventually signed was bought by a fan for $130,000.
God damn.
Makes sense, but something that doesn't is an MLB Legends more expensive jersey that got used to curse an MLB team. That might sound ridiculous, but that came from the Red Sox jersey that David Ortiz wore while taking over the entire MLB. He became so popular that his jersey wasn't just worn by almost everyone in the city. One Ortiz fan hated their biggest rivals, the Yankees, so much that he wanted to use an Ortiz jersey to curse them. The fan knew the Yankees just started building their brand new stadium, so he created a plan to get hired as a construction worker for only one day, just to plant an Ortiz jersey in the concrete under the stadium to hopefully ruin them. Now, the Yankees did end up winning the World Series in their first season at that new stadium, so the curse was a complete dud. But a few years later, when the Yankees heard rumors of where the jersey was, things turned into an all-out jersey hunt. Construction workers were all over the news using jackhammers to break concrete under the stadium.
We got it! We were very upset that it was in there when we found out about it.
And it wasn't just the New York construction workers who were pissed when the jersey was found. The rumor turning out to be true had the Yankees owner saying that he hoped the guy's co-workers beat the living shit out of him and try getting the guy to face criminal charges. Now, thankfully, instead of ruining his life over a little joke, the Yankees eventually sent the jersey to a Boston Cancer Research Center where a young survivor and Red Sox fan not only got to show it off, the ripped-up jersey was eventually auctioned off for $175,000, where all of the money went to a charity that helps childhood cancer. Man, you gotta respect the Yankees for turning a negative into a positive. But of course a jersey that's still here on Earth is cheaper than another MLB player's jersey that took off in a rocket to space.
3, 2, 1.
Alright, way before Jackie Robinson's jersey was in a rocket on its way to another universe, Jackie wore the jersey while he became the first African American to play in the modern era, constantly made history, and became one of the most game-changing players of all time. To this day, the MLB honors him with other special jerseys during games, and there's even movies made about his legacy. So that's why his Dodgers jersey from one of his best seasons was not just displayed at the Hall of Fame. It was given to an astronaut for a special mission into space. After the rocket launched, the astronaut got up in space and posted pics of the jersey itself with Earth in the background, then threw it on with a hat that Jackie would have worn with it during games. Now, since it was the first MLB jersey ever in space, I thought he would have played baseball up there like some of these other astronauts did, but regardless, a jersey even ending up there only added to the reason that it was valued at $400,000. Now, knowing something was that expensive is honestly what makes Paul Skenes' jersey even crazier. Because not only is it worth over double, it eventually turned into a piece of cardboard. This card that the Skene man is holding didn't only become expensive because of the fine-ass girl he's with. Oh my god. My bad. It also became valuable after the card got a piece of the first MLB jersey that he ever got. Skene saw his new jersey for the first time in his locker. Then it got the MLB debut patch put on, which ended up having a lot to do with why it became expensive. Cuz Skenes had the jersey on during one of the best pitching debuts ever while striking out 7 batters in his first game. And since that was just the beginning of one of the most dominating starts to a career that anyone's ever seen, his jersey became part of the rarest piece of cardboard in 2025. The rookie card was of course signed by Skenes. It had 101 engraved in the bottom. Then it featured the debut patch that was taken off the jersey and put right onto the card. So when an 11-year-old pulled the card, he almost fainted.
101.
Easy.
Literally 101. See? I can't.
What did that come out of? This? Yeah.
I can't breathe.
Now, seeing that even made Skenes happy.
It was pulled last week by an 11-year-old kid. How excited were you to find out it was an 11-year-old kid?
Super.
Yeah.
Super excited.
What would have been the worst outcome for you?
Probably a 50-year-old collector,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Because that card made the kid become a millionaire overnight when the jersey card was sold for $1.1 million. But now, because for the main event, 3 of the most expensive jerseys in MLB history all ended up here for different reasons because of Babe Ruth. Since my babe is probably the most well-known player of all time, I don't need to bore you with all of his stats. All you gotta know is that in the black and white era, I was damn near God. And becoming so legendary in the jerseys that he wore eventually made a few of them hella expensive. The first was ironically the first jersey that he ever wore that started his iconic career, and it didn't just have New York written on the front. The jersey being in almost perfect condition after over 100 years only added to why it sold for $4.4 million. That piece of cloth is more expensive than this Miami house on the water. Just think about that. And both of those things are still cheaper than Babe's second jersey that came from the best seasons of his career. Between 1928 and 1930, Babe hit more home runs than usual and dominated the shit stains that he played against more than he ever had. So his jersey with his name stitched in the back was eventually auctioned for people way richer than I am and sold for $5.6 million. That jersey became the most expensive piece of sports memorabilia ever sold at the time, until Babe's third and final jersey didn't just blow both of his previous jerseys away combined. It's the jersey he wore during the most iconic moment in baseball history, known as the called shot. Babe stepped up to the plate wearing that different jersey during the World Series. And that's when he not only pointed to the exact spot he wanted to hit the ball, man's hit the very next pitch right where he pointed. Nobody in the crowd could believe what Babe had just done, and after seeing that, all I could think about was, how do we have that footage but not Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point game, man? Can someone explain that shit to me or something? Anyways, Babe's jersey during that became the most iconic jersey in MLB. Hold on, scratch that. It became the most iconic jersey in sports history, so I'm not even surprised that it was all over the news when it sold for, drumroll please,
Did someone say drum roll?
$24 million. God damn, over $30 million on 3 jerseys is crazy.